G'day, g'day, g'day. Mathematical KM. Remember their initials, not a title. Keith Malumbi. And weighing in at 15:03, this is Tuggeranong Chess Club, over the board classical chess, round 10 out of 11 in the club championships. Playing Adhikari Kushal, 1774, some 271 uphill. One of the main focuses of today's video will be taking a look at some of the middle and end game positions where I need to take a little more time and we'll look at how we can work out the best way of pushing our ideas. So here we go. So for those long time watchers of the water horse, the old hippo, we'll keep going until we need to deviate from interesting, but no, we're already set up for that and that. We were one move short of setting up the full hippopotamus. Nevertheless, when the D pawn is pushed, the general rule of thumb, truth in truisms from that last one, is D pawn push, E pawn forward when you're looking at his king. And just taking a quick look, E5 is indeed the best. So played. Send his knight around the corner. And now, that is one of the standard hippo moves. However, if that's ever locked up like that, it's a pretty standard move to bring it back. So we've saved a bit of petrol there. We'll just keep that bishop where he is. And this is actually the first, you could call it, in a way, the breather moment, what to do from here. One of the plans, and usually the knight here, and actually looking at it, knight here is cooperating with a bishop for two pieces to be threatening that pawn. And then once something's done about that, coming out and threatening the dark bishop, which we'd like to capture. I think we'll find that I actually went with knight f6, which is not even in the top three. And looking at it, hindsight, wonderful. That knight's the only piece attacking. One defender is more than enough. That's not really the best plan. Knight to c5. Is an immediate threat to that one defender of that one. Yeah, not bad. That was second best. a5. At some point, that could be good. Far and away the best. And it comes down almost to first principle. Attack the base of the pawn chain. That's the base of the pawn chain. f5 was the way to go. Okay, what did happen? It's a mistake for all the reasons we just discussed. However, that little plan still would have trapped that bishop. Because that's no good and that's no good. So we've provoked a weakness in front of the king, at least, because that move purely keeps our knight out of g4. Thinking that we can maybe takes, I end up with my knight there, same threat on the bishop. That's the planning. Okay, that he can see my planning and he's decided that no, that's not going to happen. But I've played it anyway because I have two defenders. He added one attacker to have two. There could be a bit of blood spilled here. Now, the way I was thinking about this is if I want to end up with a knight on g4, I have to take with the bishop first. 0.03 in it, but computer actually likes knight first. But in we go. He takes, I take. So we've been left with the knight threatening the bishop, and it can't go here, here, or here. Hopefully we can swap this knight for his bishop, the bishop that's on the same colour complex as nearly all of our pawns. That's what we're aiming for here. He sent pawns down on the queen side. Knight to g6. Oh, bringing another knight in was better. But I thought I'd start sending Harry. And look, that was not good. Knight to g6 as well as places to bring the knight. It allows the queen cheap checkmate threats. Could have been really good. Obviously not, fully undefensible. It's only 0.24 there. But we have gone with Harry. Now f3 was a mistake because, and you can see from minus 0.6 to plus 2, knight takes e3 right now is the go. Played. And he takes back. h4 is third best, but it's keep on sending. Bishop to h6 is aimed at keeping his queen out. Stop the infiltrating. And we've played that. Okay, now, so that pawn has got 3 defenders. Kind of crazy. I've only got 2 attackers. But on the other hand, I don't need to attack it. If he takes me or pushes forward, at the moment, any of that, and his queen drops. So taking the moment while I can, bringing the knight round, even maybe tempting the pawn forward to grab the queen. Lets my queen come in. I can really see knight to g6 is best by far. But I've thrown Harry forward. A mistake. Allowing his queen across. Now knight g6 isn't as good as it was. He takes. Taking back is the top move. A little bit of a semi-outpost there. Okay, he's got a battery on the pawn next to my king with his queen in front. Not so good. How do I prevent that from being a battery? Or defend the battery? If he takes with his queen, I take his queen. If he takes my queen, I take his rook. So for right now, that works. Castling was better. King to here, rook lined up on his queen. Quite brave. A bishop to c4. I've broken the connection between the queen and the rook. And if anything takes the knight, I can take back. He comes in. Let's take back with the bishop. He could go there, but then I can always take with the pawn, and that lets the rook. So it's not too bad. So over here it's saying 0.0. Pretty good contest at the point. Okay. At some point I'm threatening a check and allowing my bishop back this way. Kind of want to get his queen out of the way. That 0.0. Wish I'd played that. Grabbing the free pawn. Other one, rook to h6. Getting some more protection in there. And this rook to d8. Not as good, and it allows, instead of me getting a free pawn, it allows white to take my a pawn. I did play that third best one. He does take that free a pawn. And that difference may prove costly, but, there was some counterplay with the rook there, and it is 0.0, 0.0. Okay. Much better here. He's lining the rook up with the king, threatening Harry forward once the queen's not on it. But I've moved my queen to stop that pawn from coming forward. I've got the battery there. There's ideas. Check. King forward. Pawn forward. This is one of those key moments I told you I was going to focus on. Right here. And right here, h3 is a great idea. Takes with his queen, he loses his queen, so that's not going to happen. And if he takes with the pawn, then I've got some pretty nice checks and things. I can start having a little bit of fun. Rook h to g8 is even second best, but h3 is best. So it's at this point I can advance my plan in one of two ways. Both edge to black. But purely, and this is where I've got to not just overreact to the queen in my half of the board. I have said, let's get the ladies off. No, 4.67. Oh dear. But for that, and it's not quite obvious, he's got to go, the rook takes the bishop. And then I'm not even expected to take his rook with the pawn. I'm meant to go queens off and just lose that bishop. Well, that's a combination I certainly didn't see. But for a number of reasons, advancing my ideas instead of forcing the swap with the queen that didn't need swapping just yet. But he takes. I take back. And now it's 0.7 to white. And we did have around 0.3 to black. So not good. I can't afford to let that a pawn go through. So that was best. How am I going to stop? Bishop, check, come take. Something like that. Oh, and again, it's not that horrible danger yet. And right now, h3 is even better. If he takes it, I can grab it. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Okay. But the a pawn is flying down the board. Threaten the bishop. I think that was pretty bad because... Oh no, because I've got the other rook covering it if this rook takes that. That was okay. He's protecting the bishop. This one behind this bishop. Okay. Stopping me from going check and then coming back because his rook could grab me. Well, the bishop's protected, and if I ever get a chance of back spanker... Okay, he's trying to work at how's he going to get that pawn through. I want to be able to get my bishop across here. So, a great move. Get that pair of rooks off. Now, why did I do that? It's a great move. It's to protect this square. Hey, what? Did I have time to get this done, though? Ah, I do. If he goes forward, check, and I capture the pawn. So I would be in a lot of luck if he threw that pawn forward this move. But he doesn't. He gets his rook behind it instead. Still liked h3. I really was meant to push my own idea. Okay. He goes. And there we go. You be a big pawn. He's getting his pieces in to try and help. It's all about his A pawn. That's threatening there. Rook to c2. Threatening this one. Yeah. Rook here. Threatening this one is way superior. He can't easily protect that one without moving his bishop in the way of the rook, or the rook. It causes more problems if I'd gone there. This one's threatening that one, which he's probably going to protect with his king. There we go. Okay, get my pawn chain together, and on the other colour. And you could say, here we are at move 41. Had my chance to continue this big string of draws with these high-rated peeps. I should have taken. Let's have a quick. Takes. 0.00. It comes forward, I can grab it. At king c5. We'll just give the best moves to both for a bit. h3. King d4. He has to come and stop me from getting his, and that stops him from getting mine. True draw. It was a draw if I'd taken the rooks off at move 41. So, that was the big moment. Unfortunately, yeah, should I say playing for a win? But no. Playing to kill Ari. Lots of reasons. Rook to a1 was better. Okay, but I thought I'd get that pawn there. Check. Kill that one. And I'm being forced. I'm in a lot of trouble here. And checkmate. So I pushed my 271 higher rated opponent quite well. 79, 69. Okay. More importantly, I think I had 4 great moves to the one. Tough game, but there were a few chances where I should have pushed my idea when I didn't have to overreact to his queen being present. Or so that's one idea to take out of the game, and the other one was in that end game. If I'd gotten the rooks off, then the different coloured bishops really did make that difference, and I did have the draw. So a couple of ideas. You live and you learn. And you can please, for watching this far, like, share, and subscribe, and write a comment. I'll see you guys after the final round.